Peace and blessings to everybody that can hear the sound of my voice. I hope you pass those peace and blessings on to those that can't. Come on, camera. Act right with me now. Don't give me none of that shite. Let me. Oh, been working out a little bit, toning up, shirt popping as it's supposed to. Or still a little shadow here because of the sunlight. Hey Google, turn on kitchen light. All right. So here today to talk to me, to you, to my dog Blue. We got a clue. Anyway, what is it? What is this? What is that? God damn. That's why I won't focus because it keeps trying to go to the craters on my face and try to make sense of it. Where are your eyes? Are those your eyes? Did I turn it sideways? Whatever. We're back focused. We're on the point, and we're not going to get close enough to the camera to disengage the autofocus. It's like I got a kernel in my tooth. I went to Cracker Barrel today. I had Slade biscuits with white gravy. So the topic of this conversation is the black male heterosexual leader under attack? Is there a bigger target on someone who is thought to be a leader or an influencer or an image of something that disrupts the status quo or disrupts the notion of what they are looking to, influence people with? So we take a look at, COINTELPRO and trying to extinguish any black messiah that might come up out of the ranks of whatever prominent or hidden organization. So it could be the Black Panthers, it could be the Bloods or the Crips, but it's somebody in that organization looking a tail, because they get paid for it, and they gotta have something, right? So with that being said, we have the death of Chadwick Boseman, which played the role of the Black Panther. Now, the Black Panther obviously is a Marvel movie who Stan Lee created to show the similarities of the Black Panther that were somewhat revered in America and also highly discriminated against or persecuted by white America, or the powers that be, to make sure that the class system is intact. I don't know if you ever heard me say this, but black people are on the bottom because it is, in effect, supposed to be a class system on top of racism. So you want the incentive for Americans. And that incentive is going to be the white picket fence, the house, the car, and the dog with the family, right? Kids go to a good school, you have a good job, and have a good position with good benefits, right? Every time I'm using the word good, I really mean white. So you want your kids to go to a white uh, school, you want to go to a white working environment, and obviously you go to a white church. It's just something that happens, right? So, and if you're wondering how I say white, the way I say white, you just got to put an H in front of the W. Uh, so, what does that have to do with the price of tea and uh, Chadwick Boseman? So, being the Black Panther and the impact that it had on America, on uh, Black America, on melanated people throughout the diaspora, right? Because of that, he was a pseudo leader, right? Without being a leader, without claiming he wanted to be a leader, without having things in place or having a organization, whatever, he was a leader. You know, we just fold him in there, right? So, because he was a leader, he was definitely on the list. When I say on the list, I mean he was looked at as a black identity extremist. BIE. Bye. Um, the list definitely goes over people who feel strongly about helping their community uh, build, grow, and maybe uh, trimming some of the um, uninspired, uninformed, uneducated people that would look to not get into the the realms of enlightenment, of community. Um, so, that being said, with Chadwick being a pseudo leader and being on the list, we see things that happen. One thing that we see was the rollout of the um, second phase or phase two of the Marvel series, right? So, with the phase two going, you see that Black Panther was pushed was pushed to about 3 years from the original movie. Black Panther, I gotta say it a few times, I'm sorry. Black Panther was pushed about, I wouldn't say 3 years from the movie, 3 years from the end of the first phase. It's probably around 5 years from the original, the first Black Panther, right? So you go 5 years, wow, and you take into account all of the movies that have been greenlighted because they were successful to have a part two, regardless of how good or bad the movies were. Black Panther was supposedly placed because of, you know, the storyline, the ongoing story, blah blah blah. But obviously, with Phase One being complete, you could bring in one of Black Panther's, enemies, and just have a standalone movie, unrelated to other movies, as Marvel has done for all of the white counterparts. Now, you got to get me on this. They made movies that didn't sync up until the end of the movie. Now, they want to play the game of well, we want it to fall into continuity. We want it to be integrated, uh, in which there's no need to. Black Panther was the highest grossing Marvel movie to date. Get me? Black Panther was the highest grossing Marvel movie to date. And the time frame in which they wanted to put out another Black Panther was half a decade after it came out. You're not going to capitalize on the um, market at the time in which it's already bubbling over for you. You know what I mean? Like, who would do that? Who would wait until the dust settles and people forget, and then all of a sudden Chadwick dies? Really? So you're telling me that he was able to go out, probably do three other movies, and didn't do the Black Panther 2? Because obviously he's a big name, being the Black Panther was the highest grossing film. He was in that movie. He was the star of that movie. You're going to tell me, and the way they brought Black Panther in was on the humbug under Captain America. He was placed under Captain America in the Winter Soldier movie to come up. So it was definitely not a backstory to the movie. It was, oh, guess what? Something's happening over here. Oh, everybody else? Well, they naturally develop. Black Panther, that nigga just showed up. And guess what? We can go and talk about anything we want to. Black Widow, I'm saying Black Widow because obviously after the phase one, Black Widow goes into an area or a timeline in which it's in between some of the, because she's dead, obviously, if you've seen the movies, in between um, the continuity of the first phase. So they have the ability to put time to a halt, chop, pace, whatever they want to do until Black Panther. And what they do there is they put Black Panther out 5 years or maybe 7. I don't even know. I have to look it up. Hey Google, when did Black Panther come out?
In the United States of America, Black Panther came out on February 16, 2018.
Okay. So it came out in 2018, February, Black History Month. And 3 years from then, um, it should come out with the second phase, right? And let me just Google that too. Hey Google, when is Black Panther 2 supposed to be released?
On the website digitalspy.com, they say Black Panther 2 is due to be released on May 6, 2022.
2022. So May 6, 2022 was the supposed release date for Black Panther. That is the 5 years. You have one of the highest grossing movies to date, and you wait 5 years to put another one back out. Stay with me here, okay? You gotta understand that people don't play like this. They don't, a business person is not going to say that, all right, well, we need something to back this up immediately. That's the name of the game. Strike while the iron is hot. We need to go ahead and give them something now while they're already thinking about it, while they're already purchasing products. We need to put them back in because obviously Black Panther did well not only because of its market with black people, but globally, right? So why not? What else happened? They could have had an animated series, nothing. They could have had a live action series, nothing. Nothing came out of the Black Panther movie except for being the highest grossing movie Marvel ever made. He was a pseudo leader. He didn't speak about black issues. He didn't mention um, the issues or the problems that we face in the community. I don't even think he was American. With a name like boseman, he might have been from Jamaica or another island or something like that. So I don't think he was. I think he might have been a first generation. You know, but because of his melanated skin and because of the impact that the movie had, unintentionally, was it unintentionally? I mean, it came out on um, Black History Month with a name like Black Panther. They wanted to make sure that this movie was successful 6 months before they rolled out campaigns, obviously. But because of this Wakanda Forever mentality that was going on, they thought, this might be problematic. What we need to do is focus on dialing it back. Revolutionaries might come out of this movie. They might see Killmonger as some type of anti-hero. We need to dial it back, right? So, with that said, Chadwick is dead. So, this is another time that they killed the heroic image of a black man. Now, Bill Cosby, Dr. Bill Cosby, I think he got an honorary doctorate, so I'm going to use it because I fucks with the nigga. I'm going to use it because he brought in specialists to make sure that the images that were being portrayed in his series and sitcoms were perfect depictions of a, a family in which black people can aspire to be loving, respectful, still had hardships, but were able to find commonality, find unity, and hold on to the love, right? Um, then he came out with a different world. Class, the HBCU enrollment skyrocketed through the roof because of a different world. So you have a new class of educated black people going into the workforce now competing for jobs that they weren't likely to be offered before a different world. So he, in essence, made a different world by making a different world. And they assassinated his character. It's cool. It's cool. Um, you know, we talk about MLK, we talk about Malcolm X, we talk about Medgar Evers. Um, you know, even Yassine Bey dipped out on y'all ass. But nevertheless, Kobe Bryant. Let's just dive into it all the way. Kobe Bryant was going to be a black figure of leadership, of power of I am being the best father I can be. I'm being original. I'm being a model in which black men could, replicate. And it's going against the grain of the uneducated, the unresilient, the you know lazy, lustful, whatever, right? So they did definitely um, assassinate his character with a rape charge that he beat, but they want to bring it back up. But it's people over here with Kitty Islands, and we won't say too much because of you know YouTube or whatever. But people are out here doing strange and sadistic things for entertainment and for health, supposed health reasons, whatever, you know, superficial beauty and whatever. So we know he had to go. We know Kobe had to go because it disrupted the class system. Oh, well, people are going to start seeing melanated men as unthreatening. If we allow them to be seen as unthreatening, then they are going to be allowed to flourish. They'll be allowed to gain access where they were denied prior. You know what I mean? You understand how deep that is when you are able to gain access um, to resources. It's all about resources. And you only have the resources you have with the connections you have, with the unity you have. So anybody who's uniting, um, melanated people throughout the diaspora is going to be a problem. So Kobe Bryant, a global figure. He was a global figure. Michael Jackson, global figure. Even though his skin was white, when they talk about what he did in concert, it was going to be some Thriller, it was going to be some Billie Jean. All of those brown man songs were going to come out, and people were going to have to relapse their memory on, dang, he was a black man doing brilliant. So, with Chadwick Boseman, he was a pseudo leader. He was a black man that was a hero that was um, now shown to disarm the world because this was a global movie and it impact globally. Um, where he was shown as a hero, a black man shown as a hero, disarming and throwing away those myths of black people can't be heroic or doesn't do anything patriotic and all of this and that. You know what I mean? Like these stigmas that are placed on melanated men are by design. They're crafted in order to make sure that you will have limited resources and limited availability in order to succeed and be looked at as criminal, um, thug, deviant, whatever word they want to put on you. And obviously, you put your dark thoughts on the dark man. So just think about that for a second because everything that's been placed on melanated men are not from melanated men. We get all of the ills, the evils of white men, and then they just push it over to us. Systematically, they've been doing this for generations. That's why you have white men that are still evading the law when it comes to the things that they have done uh, to, you know, our womb man and even our next generation to come, you know, pre-pubescence. So we understand that this is by design. You have to uh, get rid of anybody who is going to disrupt the the frequency that you haven't tuned in on. And that frequency is to look at a melanated man as a problem or someone to um, dismiss, get rid of, push away, especially if he's heterosexual. Now, a gay melanated man is going to be accepted only because he is under a protected group category. You know, so he's being protected, but only if he is extra flamboyant, if he is extra over the top with his sexuality. You can't have a gay man, a gay melanated man, be masculine and still be under the umbrella of cover or safety when it comes to prejudice and bigotry enacted on him. So I do believe Chadwick was intentionally targeted in order to get rid of him. And I'm surprised that it was something other than an aneurysm, because they killed countless black leaders with aneurysms in the 1970s. If you ever look it up, you would see that countless melanated men died from aneurysms and other strange related deaths with no history prior. But now, this fast acting cancer that he acquired in what 2018 Black Panther came out. By 2019, we knew the numbers of Black Panther and seen the effects of it, right? 2020, he's dead. So he has one of the fastest cancers ever, you know, to take hold and take his life, which no information about what type of cancer he had is out. I didn't see anything but the word cancer and chemo, you know, so obviously he went from being healthy to being, and he still had his hair in the pictures, so we seen that he was very skinny. So was he just starting his chemo? I'm unsure. Like, but nevertheless, he died quicker than anybody else ever seen die off of their first run of cancer. You know what I mean? Like, it has to. I see people all the time. 5 years, they got diagnosed. I'm hanging in there. Cancer slightly went into remission, or you know, we're working on it. Blah 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 XYZ. Before they get to that level, to get to that death. So he had some type of mutation of a mutation, because cancer is a mutated cell, but they mutated it even more. Now, obviously, cancer treatment can cause the advancement of cancer. And we all know this, so that's why we have to kind of stay away from some of the radioactive cancer treatments. And definitely we got to look into holistic healing when it comes to things like Dr. Sabi's teaching, and really going and getting farmers market produce and cooking fresh foods as often as possible. I know it's hard daily, but if we can do something, um, you know, every other day and cook enough to you can eat leftovers the next day, something like that, it's going to tremendous. It's going to make a tremendous difference, especially if you're not eating meat on the way that your body is going to change and the nutrients in which it pulls from is going to be different and stronger, and you're going to instantly see a difference. Obviously, you probably want to do a cleanse first so that your body's going to snap into it. And that's another topic for another day. Chadwick, I do believe, was um, targeted. He was um, put into an advanced cancer state, and I believe there are culprits at hand in which wanted to see a pseudo leader fall before a resurgence happen. 2022 was supposed to be the next movie. 5 years from the original movie doesn't make sense, especially with it being the number one selling movie in the Marvel series in this first phase. So you have Wakanda Forever, you have Black Unity, you have Chadwick not saying a motherfucking word, right? He ain't saying a motherfucking word. He's silent. He's silent. Motherfucker die every day in the street. He's silent. He ain't saying nothing. Now, it's funny, his name is Boseman. I think the guy's name um, in Black Panther was named something like Boseman or something like that. But he was like the leader of the ape tribe. And he went on to do Us. And with that, he's very vocal about the injustices that face melanated people in the diaspora. But he's not the face. He's not the figurehead. People see TV as reality now, and you can't give them a reality in which will empower them if you choose to keep a class system intact. So I don't want to talk too long. It's already been 30 minutes, and I feel like I can go on for hours and hours. But give me your thoughts. Write it in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share this, because we need to have a dialogue on COINTELPRO. Is it still out? Does it still exist? How are we being affected by the media and the entertainment industry? And what avenues do we have for ourselves in order to overcome some of the stigmas and even the vices that come with our entertainment, whether it be the drugs from rap music, lean, whatever, or pimping out, dudes, getting them to trick on you. Whatever it is, there is a silver lining in all of it, where we are inventors, we are innovators, we are, steadfast in our convictions, and we allow our emotions to be our muse. So it's a beautiful thing being able to pull from the sun and be rejuvenated, you know. Um, like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna be signing off. As always, be brave, be brilliant, um, be united, be blessed.